Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at page 8 in your lesson book. As you can see, page 8 is all about shifting on the D string. So we're going to be hanging out just on the D string today, going back and forth between first and third position. The neat thing about this page is that they actually give you an opportunity to try every type of shift. So we'll kind of talk about it as we go along, but you might shift from your first finger to your first finger, from your first to your second. So you get practice doing all of these different types of shifts, which is really important. So even if the first couple seem easy, it's important to go through all of them because at some point you're going to need to know how to do all of these shifts. So taking a look at 41, 41 has what we call a one-to-one shift. So if you look at the third measure of 41, you'll see that you're going to go, by the way, all of these start in first position. So if you look at the third measure of 41, we're going from my first finger on the D string, an E, up to a first finger in third position, a G. Okay, so it's 1 to 1. And you might practice that before you even start this exercise. Practice and make sure you can go from your first finger, shifting up to your first finger. Okay, so that happens in the third measure. Then you can see in the fifth measure, they ask you to go back to first position. And then in the sixth measure, you do the same type of shift again. So here's number 41 starting in first position. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the shifts. Back to first position. Now we shift. Awesome, nice job. And of course, in that one, when we're in third position, they only ever have you play one finger and then two fingers, so G and A. So we didn't have to do many notes in third position, but trust me, we'll get to do a lot of notes as we continue through this page. Looking at 42, again, we start in first position, and in the third measure is where we see our first shift. The last note in first position in that measure is your first finger on the D string, an E, and then you're shifting to two fingers in third position. It's really important that you don't just blindly set down two fingers somewhere. What I'd encourage you to do is to shift up with your first finger and then put your second finger down. Eventually, you won't have to do that, but for now, if you play your E, go up and put your second finger quickly down. But it's important that you have both 1 and 2 down and that there's a space between them. It's a whole step between your first and second finger. Okay, again, in the fifth measure, we shift back to first position. And this one, we actually end in third position. So you can see right before the last two notes, we shift back up to that second finger. Okay, so here's 42. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our shift. Back to first position. And here's our shift. Awesome. And if you want to tell if you're in tune with that second finger note, that's an A in third position. That's the same pitch, though, as your open A. It should sound the same. That's how you'll know you're in the correct spot. Okay, you don't have to flip pages, but I do. So now I'm going to number 43. If you take a look this time at the shift, again, it's in the third measure. The last first position note that we play is an F sharp, two fingers on the D string. And then our shift is actually to the same note we shifted to last time, to two fingers to the A. So this time, it's a 2 to 2 shift. Okay, so here we go, 43. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the shift. Back. Here's the shift. as you're practicing this, if you actually need to stop in between the shift and go, that's okay for now to start. The more you do it, the easier that will get. And I'd rather have you do that than guess and end up in the wrong spot. So we're keeping the technique, the correct technique, right? We want to move our whole hand up together, move your thumb with you. If you're having a hard time reaching, it might mean that you're keeping your thumb in the back and just trying to stretch your fingers up. So make sure you're not doing that. Okay, 44. 44 it's actually a shift we've done already. It's the 1 to 2 shift. So this is kind of a review of something we've already done. So we can just go right ahead and play this. Here's 44. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 3 fingers. Rest. Good. I guess the new thing in that was adding your 3 fingers for the B in third position, but that shouldn't be new or difficult for any of us. We've already done that. Spent plenty of time doing that before. Okay. Again, 45 is that 2 to 2 shift. They're just incorporating that B, the 3 fingers in third position. So we should be able to just go through and play this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So you might have noticed as you're playing some of these that they have a lot of repetition in them. So for example, in 45, the one we just played, the first 2 measures actually are identical to the third and fourth measure in terms of how they sound, but they're played in a different way, right? There's a shift in the third and fourth measures. The reason they do that is so that you can hear what it's supposed to sound like in first position, and then you can do the shifting with it in your ear of what it should sound like. Make sure you aren't cheating yourself by not shifting, right? You can play all of this in first position and it would be very, very easy. You probably could have played this all in first position 3 years ago. But the point is we're trying to get the shifting. So you're only hurting yourself by not doing it. Okay, it's not going to hurt you to try. And it is tough at first, but I promise the more you do it, the easier it does get. So moving on, 46. Again, this is more of the same stuff. We're just practicing the same skills over and over again to kind of reinforce them. So 46, it's actually a 2 to 1 shift. So we're going from our F sharp 2 fingers in first position and then going to third position with our first finger. I just realized I'm saying a lot of 2 fingers because I'm talking about violins and violas. Cellos, of course, you know that it's 3 fingers for your F sharp, not 2. And then there are some slurs in the second part of this, but this one should not be that bad at all. Here's 46. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to first. There's a shift. And back to first. Good. It is a little tough there to shift in the middle of the slur. Do your best with that. Again, that's something that comes with time as you practice. Continue to develop your shifting technique. Okay. I believe there's just 2 more on this page. So 47, we'll take a look at this quickly, see if there's anything new. And actually, I don't see much that is new on this, so we should be able to go ahead and do this. So here we go. Starting with 3 fingers in first position. Always on this page and for the next several pages, you always start in first position, but it's a good thing to always check. This book will always mark what position you should be in unless you start in first. That's the one time they don't mark it. So if you don't see anything, that means it's first position. Okay, so here we go. 47. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to third. And back. Great. All right, and we're going to finish it up here with 48. Let's go through this. Again, more of the same stuff, just practicing that shifting. Looks like most of the time it's a 2-to-1 shift for violins. Yeah, I guess the numbers I'm saying aren't very helpful if you're a cello. I'm sorry, cellos. You can apply the numbers for what your fingerings are for you. That was on me. That's my bad. All right, so 48. 48. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's all of page 8. Again, make sure as you're going through these that you are actually doing the shifting. This is not the easiest way to play any of these, but the reason that they write them this way is to reinforce those skills. So you are only helping yourself by doing that. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, but otherwise we will play through these together and then move on to some new stuff in our next lesson.